We're going to discuss the Canadian investment opportunities that allows you to receive permanent residency and it becomes as an immigration path to go to Canada. There's a misconception out there that in 2014, 2015, the Canadian investment opportunities or the immigration through investment opportunities in Canada are no longer available as the government shut down the IIP or the Immigrant Investor Program in Canada. That is true up to a particular extent, which is the federal level investment program is now, and the entrepreneur program, these two programs are no longer available. The existing program in Quebec, which is the Quebec Immigrant Investor Program, is actually still available, and there are applicants that are receiving their permanent residency under that program. In addition to that program, there is something called PNP, or Provincial Nominee Programs. Every province has its own set of immigration programs. Some of them are related to business and immigration that allows immigrants to apply for that particular stream in that particular province. Now, this has never been affected. It never changed with the changes that took place under the federal investment program. So the federal program for investment and entrepreneurship, these two are now gone. And at the same time, the Quebec investment program is still available, and all the provincial nominee programs that are related to business, entrepreneurship, and investment are all still available. So you can actually apply for these programs directly. Now, what's the difference between a PNP program and a federal program? The Government of Canada signs bilateral agreements between Canada and each one of the provinces that would like to have immigration streams. Each one of the two entities, or the two, I want to say phases here, they would have certain regulations that they control or they look after. So from the government's perspective, they offload this to the CIC office, which is the Citizenship and Immigration Canada office. So the CIC office would be responsible for the admissibility aspect of every person to make sure that they're admissible to Canada, and they follow all the Immigration Act and regulations when it comes to the intake of immigration applications coming in. The provinces under the PNP programs get to select the nominees or select the candidates that they want to bring in. So here they do the selection, here they do the processing from a admissibility perspective. So you can potentially either apply for the Quebec program that's still out there, or you can actually go under one of the PNP programs that are available, get a nomination from the province, do your paperwork with them. Once you get the certificate of nomination, you take that as a step 2 or phase 2 to the CIC office, and then apply for your immigration status or your PR status in Canada, assuming that you meet all the admissibility factors for CIC. So what we're going to talk today about is the PNP streams. What's available to you in terms of business, entrepreneurship, and also investment opportunities in the particular provinces and territories that have programs that allow applicants to go under the investment streams. The overall perspective when it comes to the selection process for these programs, keep in mind your managerial experience is going to be assessed. Your net worth is going to be assessed. The amount of investment and the source of the funds is going to be assessed. And in some cases, the language proficiency for English and or French will be assessed. Depends on the program and depends on the province. So these are the key factors or the key points that you should consider when it comes to any of the PNP programs that you're going to get into. And then now we'll just list some of these programs and talk about the requirements for each one, and you will see how it changes from a province to province. And then you would notice that this province is looking for people that have more managerial experience. This province is looking for higher amount of investment. This province is looking for lower English or French proficiency. Here they require more language proficiency. So you would see how that balances out and what fits your needs in terms of your current situation, your current personal objectives, and your investment profile, as in what is it that you're looking for? Are you going to actively manage that business and be involved in it? And then what you're required to run that business in terms of managerial experience, market knowledge, and language as well. So when it comes to the PNP programs, let's just list them from the least amount of investment to the most amount of investment, or the highest amount of investment. There's around 9 programs that we'll be discussing that goes from anywhere from $100,000 all the way to $400,000 in terms of investment. And then each one of them is going to have its own regulations. But then you're going to see the similarities when it comes to the requirements for each one of these programs. So the Quebec Business Immigration Program, under the entrepreneurship stream, requires you to invest 100,000 Canadian dollars, have a net worth of 300,000 Canadian dollars. You need to have 2 years worth of managerial experience or transferable managerial experience. And then you need to achieve 6 points in the, a minimum of 6 points overall in your IELTS exam if you're going to take English as the main language that you want to be assessed under. So these are the main requirements for you to be able to apply under the entrepreneurship stream in Quebec for the business immigration. If you take the next level up, or the next program that's available in New Brunswick, it's under the business applicants. The investment goes a little bit higher. So it's 125,000 Canadian dollars with a net worth of $300,000. Your age needs to be between 22 and 55. You're supposed to have 3 years of managerial experience that's going to be transferable to your Canadian business. Your proficiency when it comes to English needs to be at the level, you need to score 5 on your IELTS exam. So notice now it dropped 1 point from Quebec to New Brunswick. So now you need to have only 5 points across the board for all the 4 sections in IELTS versus 6 in the Quebec entrepreneurship program. And then you need to score 50 points in the adaptability assessment matrix. The adaptability matrix is something that the Canadian immigration programs usually use. You get assessed based on your marital status, your children, the educational level that you and your spouse have, the language command that you have, if you have any family in Canada, if you have any knowledge in the local market or local economy in Canada. So these are just standard procedures that you go through, and then you need to score for this particular New Brunswick program 50 points on the adaptability stream. The next one up is Manitoba, the business immigration stream. Again, for this one, it's 150,000 Canadian dollars in terms of investment and a net worth of 350,000. So now you're noticing that the investment amounts are going up and the net worth is going up with it as well. But what's interesting about this program in Manitoba is that your English proficiency needs to be at 4, as in not CLB 4, but you need to score 4 across the board on your IELTS when it comes to the general exam that you're going to take. Managerial experience is 3 years, and you need to have you score 60 points on the adaptability assessment matrix, similar to the previous program, but 10 points more. And then here you might be requested to actually do something called an exploration visit, where you go to Manitoba and you visit the location that you're going to be in. So you actually see where you're going to, the business is going to be set up, study the local environment, and then you go back and then you file your application. So this is what's different about Manitoba than the others. But what's interesting about Manitoba is they require lower English proficiency. It's only around 25 or 50,000 Canadian dollars more than the previous two programs. But look, the program objectives when it comes to English command just got reduced for this investment program. The next one up is Prince Edward Island. Here, this is they call it the 100% ownership stream. You're investing 150,000 Canadian dollars. But your net worth needs to go up to $600,000. Your age needs to be between 21 and 59. And they force you, or not they force you, they require you to have a certain education level, which is a high school equivalent degree or a secondary level degree. So you don't have to be in a college or a college graduate, university graduate. A high school graduate is enough. But now here they actually require that eligibility aspect for this program. And then the IELTS results or the language test results is similar to Manitoba, which is 4. So now you can actually have different options between the programs, whether it is you want to go for Manitoba or Prince Edward Island, based on the lower requirements for English. Unless this is not going to be an issue for you, then you can pick other programs that are at IELTS, let's say score 5 or 6 or whatever it is that you'll be able to have eligibility for. And then for Prince Edward, there's no requirement, a certain set of years of experience that you have to have in management. It's just you need to provide them with evidence of your managerial experience. But there's no set number of years for that. The next one up is a territory program, which is the Yukon Business Immigration PNP scheme. $150,000 investment, $250,000 net worth, age range between 21 and 55, and IELTS results of 6 points across the board. So now your language proficiency jumped up compared to other programs. And then you need to score 56 points in the nominee assessment grid, which is the adaptability aspect of things. And then you need to have transferable management experience. Again, there's no requirement for a certain number of years, but you just need to demonstrate your ability to manage a business under the Yukon Business Investment Program. The next available program is the Northwest Territories Entrepreneurship Program. Here, you're investing $150,000. You have a net worth of $250,000 Canadian dollars. You would be required to deposit 75,000 Canadian dollars in good faith. So this is not an additional charge. You just deposit it, part of your application, part of the investment. So $75,000 is going to go into the deposit out of the $150,000 that you're going to invest. And then you continue with your application as requested. What's interesting about the Northwest Territories is there is no language requirements. So you can apply for this without requiring to submit any IELTS results or any other French language or any other English language examination. So this is interesting. So for people that are not very proficient in English or French, this becomes a good option for them because there is no language requirement. Here, you need to show transferable management experience. There is no set minimum for it. You just need to prove that you have such experience. And then you need to demonstrate your knowledge about the local economy. So for this stream, that's where you start considering, do I want to go for a a province or a territory that require higher English standards, lower investment standards? Or do I want to go for another program that requires a moderate amount of investment, but they don't have any language requirements for you to apply for that program? Saskatchewan, the entrepreneurship program is also interesting, similar to the Northwest Territories, where they don't have any language requirements. The investment amount is $200,000, sorry, 200,000 Canadian dollars, and then the net worth is 500,000. Age range is 21 to 54. No language requirements. You need to have 3 years of management experience, transfer management experience, and then you just need to match the points for the program. So here, again, no language requirements, 3 years of experience when it comes to management experience, and then a $200,000 investment and a $500,000 net worth. This is an interesting program because it has a balance between the amount of investment, the location in Canada, the local economy, and the number of years of experience you require to have a successful business there. Okay. The next one after that is the BC, or the British Columbia program. It's the regional entrepreneurship, or the regional entrepreneur program. It's a 200,000 Canadian dollars investment, minimum net worth of 400,000, no age limit, no language requirement, 2 years of transferable management experience, and then you need to live outside of Vancouver and Abbotsford. So here, no age requirements, no language requirements, moderate amount of investment, which is 200,000, moderate net worth, which is 400,000, and then you're going to be investing in the west coast of Canada, so different weather, different economy than the east coast or the central provinces and territories. So this becomes an option for you, considering that the location that you're in right now, you want to go into the west or the east coast of Canada, or be in the central locations in Ontario or Manitoba or whatever. So BC is an interesting program where you can benefit from the no language requirement aspect of this investment program. The next one after that is another program available in British Columbia, or BC, which is the entrepreneur. So now, if you notice, one province has two separate PNP programs, or two separate streams under PNP. One of them is called the Regional Entrepreneur. The other one is called just the Entrepreneur Program. So the Entrepreneur Program is a higher amount of investment. It's 400,000 Canadian dollars. Net worth is 800,000. No language requirements, no age requirements, 2 years of management experience that you need to demonstrate, and then you need to be located somewhere in British Columbia. So if you want to be in BC, outside of Vancouver and Abbotsford, so you can look for a low amount of investment, no English or requirements, and no age restrictions. If you want to be anywhere else in BC, Vancouver or whatever it is, you can increase the amount of investment. Again, there's no language requirements. Again, there's no age restrictions. And then you can proceed with that stream in BC. So if you've noticed in these 9 that we listed, the amount goes from 100 to 125 to 150 to 200, all the way to $400,000 in terms of investment. The net worth ranges anywhere from, whatever, 150 to $600,000. Managerial experience goes from either minimum or up to 2 to 3 years of transferable management experience. Language, as you've seen, some programs, some PNP programs have no language requirements. Some of them have basic or I want to say beginner level language proficiency in English or French. Some of them require intermediate level of English, 4, 5, or 6. So they're similar. But there are some key factors that would make you pick one location versus the other. Whether it is that you want to do the exploration visit or not. Whether it is you want to speak the local language or not. Whether it is that you want to be in a specific geographic location or not. Whether it is you have 1, 2, 3, or 10 years of management experience. So your own personal profile, when you apply it to these 9 different options, you would see where you fall when it comes to the selection or eligibility criteria for these. So you would make the call when it comes to where you want to be located. And remember that there is the admissibility aspect of things, regardless of this. So now we're talking about the province level or the territory level. Remember, there's going to be the admissibility factors under CIC, which means medical exam, security clearance, security checks, and also the financial aspect or the financial admissibility aspect of things. These things that you have to pass regardless of any PNP program you want to choose, because this is what is going to be the second phase concentrating on part of your permanent residency application or your work permit application, whatever it is with CIC. So let's say you do get your PNP approval. Let's assume you do get your CIC approval. Let's assume you do receive your permanent residency. In Canada, the residency obligations towards your PR is 2 years out of 5 years from the day that you become a permanent resident. You have to be physically available in Canada, meaning 730 days within 5 years, you have to be physically in Canada. Now, these don't have to be consecutive 730 days. You can leave, travel back and forth, whatever it is that you need to do for your investments inside or outside of Canada, regardless of that. And then that requires a certain number of days. This means you maintain your permanent residency status in Canada. That does not mean you maintain your citizenship requirements. This is a completely different ballgame. So here, to maintain your PR card and be able to renew it every 5 years, you need to be in Canada physically for 730 days, which is 2 years out of 5 years. You continue renewing your permanent residency card indefinitely. Citizenship, completely different ballgame. The Citizenship Act is being modified. There are new rules coming up. There are new regulations coming up. So that is going to be a different discussion for another time that we'll be able to go over the citizenship requirements. The last point is taxation. Canada, similar to the US, there is tax obligations for all the worldwide income on the global taxation aspect of whatever you make your money inside or outside of Canada. But the difference between the US and Canada is the following. You pay taxes on your income based on your residency, meaning, and we're not talking permanent residency, we're talking about your actual physical location. So if you're physically located in Canada and you're a resident of Canada on a permanent residency or on a citizenship, if you're a citizen of Canada, you're paying taxes on your worldwide income regardless of where that income was earned. If you declare yourself as a non-resident and you're living abroad, if you're not in Canada, you're paying taxes on any income you're making inside Canada, not outside. The US is a bit different. You actually pay taxes on your worldwide income regardless of where you make that income. So depends on where you're going to be residing, inside or outside Canada, you'll be subject to taxation regulations that will differ. Worldwide income, if you're residing in Canada, only income made in Canada if you're residing outside. So this is something you need to consider, talk to your tax advisor, understand your obligations from a business perspective, from a personal perspective, personal tax, etc., and see how that affects you and affects your status. So, to summarize, provincial nominee programs, business, entrepreneurship, and investment. They've always been there. They are still there. They never got affected. The Quebec investment program, still out there, has not been affected. The only thing that got affected is the federal entrepreneurship program and the federal investment program. These two have been shut down. These are available to you. You can invest in any province. You can invest based on these different options. See which program fits you best. Apply for the province. Get your nomination. Go to the CIC office. Submit a separate application for your permanent residency there. Or some provinces ask you to actually have a work permit prior to your permanent residency. Get that done. Once that's approved, you continue with your permanent residency application. So it's a two-step process, but the option is there. The investment amounts are much lower than other investment programs available globally, whether it is in the US, Europe, South America, Central America, or whatnot. If you look at the amount of investments, it's moderate, marginal, and you actually get to manage the business yourself. You're active in maintaining your own business, and you're going to be the decision when it comes to how much profit you're going to make, the success rate of this business is all on you. You decide on that. The job creation that needs to be decided, that needs to be done, you decide, because you're running the business yourself. So it's a do-it-yourself kind of a aspect of immigration. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business owner, or if you're an investor, this is a very interesting way for you to be able to receive immigration status in Canada.